Huli ka ni Jojo Sibial. You have the right to remain silent.
On Public Services hearing is now called to order. Maritime transport is the backbone of the global economy. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, 90% of goods in the world are still carried by sea through the international shipping industry. 90%. Mula sa balikbayan boxes ng ating mga OFWs, imported raw materials at manufactured goods, hanggang sa mga pinamili sa online shopping. Nakadepende lahat sa maayos na pamamalakad ng mga cargo sa ating mga daungan. However, our shipping industry has long been plagued by high logistic costs, delayed or damaged goods, smuggling, and corruption. At the center of the pandemic global supply chain crisis and congestion in the Philippine ports are shipping containers or the large steel boxes that contain cargo. For the past years, the Philippine Ports Authority has found it difficult to address problems in the deposit and return of foreign-owned containers. Port users currently pay shipping lines a deposit of 10,000 to 30,000 pesos for dry containers and 180,000 for refrigerated containers. But it takes 6 months or sometimes years to get the refund. Under the DOTR Shippers Protection Office, 80% of complaints against international shipping lines were about the months-long delay in the return of container deposits and lack of transparency in the additional charges levied. Hindi na nga abot kaya para sa small businesses, hindi ka pa sigurado kung maibabalik ang iyong deposito. The PPA's proposed 980 pesos insurance and monitoring fee intends to replace this flawed deposit system. Wala ding mapaglagyan ang mga empty containers. When container yards cannot accommodate their return, these containers and the trucks carrying them congest our ports and access roads. I'm sure alam niyo yan. Pag nandun, lahat nakapark, puro mga containers at mga trucks. Worse, consignees and brokers have to shoulder additional charges for the delay. To address this, PPA intends to roll out a container staging facility, CSF, which will be the shared service facility for empty foreign-owned containers scheduled for re-export. The container yard handling and the 3-day storage costs 3,520 per container compared to the old container handling cost of 6,400 pesos. PPA further proposes to digitize through the Trusted Operator Program Container Registry and Monitoring System, TOP CRMS, which is an electronic tagging and tracking system where container movement and port users shall be enrolled in the system. Like any other policy born out of good intentions, everything looked good on paper. In May 2022, PPA awarded the 877.6 million contract to the lone bidder, the joint venture of NetIX Incorporated and ShipTech Solutions Corporation. But in February 2023, the PPA board decided to indefinitely defer the implementation of the order pending compliance with President Marcos' directive to ensure compliance with ease of doing business. However, PPA still targets these policies to be rolled out later in the year. PPA takes comfort in the Anti-Red Tape Authority's good practice rating. Among all options, only the top CRMS solutions has a net benefit of an estimated 282.6 billion for a 10-year period. Today, we shall see if it is indeed the best solution to our worsening port problems. We shall also look at the other PPA administrative orders that seek to introduce a centralized ticketing system, prescribe waste reception fees in all PPA ports, mandatory tree mangrove planting, and the port terminal management regulatory framework. Shipping industry associations and organizations claim that these administrative orders result to higher port charges that will lead to a drastic increase in logistic costs. Solusyon nga ba ang pulisiyang ito o dagdag problema lamang? Does replacing container deposits with insurance and monitoring fees protect users? If so, why are the users complaining? In creating reforms to our maritime trade, panahon na magkaroon ng regulations sa excessive charges kasabay ng pagsuporta sa paglago ng shipping industry. Were there sufficient studies and stakeholder consultations to support these policies? Gusto nating maayos at ma-modernize ang sistema pero ayaw naman nating ipasa lahat sa port users at kalaunan sa mga ordinaryong consumers ang mga bagong port fees. High shipping rates also worsen inflation. Lahat tayo ay maapektuhan ng pagtaas ng mga produkto sa merkado. We need to keep this in mind as we listen to our regulatory agencies and stakeholders and weigh the benefits versus the costs of these proposed port reforms.